Hi everybody, this is day 3 and at UPW, and it was transformation day, and there were a lot of people who said that this is a very very big day, and it's now 2:45. So yeah, it was a long day and it was a very big day. So what did we do? Actually, the best thing of the whole night was that we were apparently as a group so outrageously high in energy that we kept serenading almost Tony, and we just couldn't stop it, and he tried to get us like uh, quiet, of course, because he had a program to run, but because we wouldn't stop. And it was actually, I think, a few guys behind me, so I've been hugging them all day, and of course I feel proud of my little group. But they kept singing, and it was very beautiful that Tony actually cried. So that was very beautiful. And yeah, I mean, I think we really probably don't realize how much he cares about his work, and I think this type of acknowledgement of him telling the stories of his harsh times when he was almost evicted, and where he was earning 38,000, and he couldn't even pay to park his car or something, and couldn't pay the electricity bill, and so he had to read the eviction notice with a candle. I mean, and then saying that he was listening to this particular Neil Diamond song, and then so many years later seeing us, just being so enthusiastic and being in such a high state after he put us through all of this stuff. I mean, it meant a lot to him, and that, I think, is what he lives for. So for me, it we had peace around values today, and about conflict and values in a conflict, the 3 pillars of progress. And we had so we had to look at all the limiting beliefs, and of course I had plenty. Hello. So yeah, I had to reframe a few of them, and we had to, like, neurologically almost uh, associate our limiting beliefs with, like, significant pain. So we went through the Dickens process, and yeah, so yeah, I think I don't want to explain what we did, because I think you should just go to UPW and find out. But my limiting beliefs, sometimes people accept for a fact that they have limiting beliefs, but they really don't understand that limiting beliefs have they have a very high price, and the consequences are lifelong. And we understood that when we did the experience. And so, for instance, some of my limiting beliefs were around they were very global beliefs, meaning that it would affect my relationship with 50% of the world population, meaning men. And some of my limiting beliefs were about relationships. They were about money, or they were about hard work, or about being a successful woman, or they were about me being rejected. So there was a very powerful process where I just had to reframe my limiting beliefs. And what was very beautiful, and this is of course very well known to people who do, like, lots of law of attraction processes, is that when something feels bad, it's probably a lie. And your true self, your real self, knows the truth. And so when something feels good, especially belief system, it is probably more likely to be more true than the lie. The lie is mostly like a story. And of course there will be exceptions, like, for instance, when people, are very confused. And but in my case, we had to look at I was looking at my limiting beliefs, and I think, I'm proud of myself, because while we were doing the Dickens process, I just couldn't believe it. I knew that they were there, the limiting beliefs, but I think I've reprogrammed myself so much that I just don't even feel the nausea in my body, and I just like, I have this constant observer in my mind that just thinks like, oh really, I don't believe it. So when we went through the whole process of actually feeling the pain and the price of all the limiting beliefs, like I'm not chosen, relationships are unsafe, men are untrustworthy, and success takes really, really hard work. When I had to investigate them, and when I came to the moment of truth around what was true about these limiting beliefs, I was feeling lots of gratitude. So my tears again were about happiness, about this is just so not true, and I just choose, like, there is not a fiber in my body that believes it. Nothing in me believes all these limiting beliefs, but I had to do, I had to review it just for the sake of it, and we had to do this very powerful process where we had to link lots of very powerful emotions and and sounds and body gestures to like refusing to accept the belief systems, and we had to state the new truth in a high, in a peak state. And so I'm happy to share with you, and I had to share with other people, strangers as well, that my new beliefs, my empowering beliefs, which sound much better, are I am chosen, which sounds much better than I'm rejected. Imagine what your life is like when you believe that you're rejected. Like, it's such a bullshit story anyways. Secondly, relationships are a blessing. And thirdly, the men that I attract and that I'm attracted to and that choose me have integrity. And that sounds, it just feels much better. And I think lately, definitely that has, that really reflects the truth. If I look at my peer group and who these men are, so it's just bullshit to just like, distrust 50% of the human population. And of course, I don't believe that anymore, but we had to go with the process, and I just had to really find out whether I'm really rid of that belief. But the thing, I think the more powerful part was the realization of my last belief, which it was about success and all the struggle that I go through to just basically manage time and things like that. And my new belief systems, which are just much more fun, is like success is my gift to the world. Success is inevitable, and success, I own you. Another one was success, it is done. And another one was success is here already. And the reason is because one of my big shifts in life had to do with the fact that I really understand an appreciation and daily appreciation of everything, like, like for internet working, for the tube running, for, small gestures of friends, and for my parents and my life and the choices that I've made. All these contribute to my success and to what I do now as an entrepreneur and as a teacher and actually a leader. I cannot tell you how powerful it was to actually be forced to sit in the feelings of the negative beliefs and to try and live those negative beliefs in my body and in my whole physiology, and to then being given permission to actually release them, and then to do the incantation And the incantation was, now I am the voice. Now I will lead, not follow. I will create, not destroy. I will believe, not doubt. It just brought, still happening now, it brought chills down my spine to say, now I am the voice. And I connect with that so deeply, because I think from my Jungian studies and more from my spiritual studies, we always believe that there is a higher self or an infinite self or the mystery of the self. And so it's, to me, my whole purpose is to actually honor the identity of that mystery of the self. But I also know that, the limiting beliefs around fear, around I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, the two biggest fears we have, that they actually are not me. They are just like part of the illusion and part of the polarity, the duality that is part of life. And so when we had to do the incantation, now I am the voice, it was very, very meaningful to me. It was so very meaningful. So for me, my tears were around realizing that I was there. I had, at one point, I had just decided that, my life was about being that voice, about letting that voice come through me and letting my clients and my business partners work from that voice, and together we will, create amazing things. And so my client work, I can tell you that people, when they find that voice, it's such a deep shift. And once you find that voice in you that is invincible and which doesn't die, it never dies, it just is always there, always available, with so much strength and so much love for you and for the world, and with so much courage, looking forward to everything that can come, and knowing that, every lesson that is coming our way, we will somehow find a way. So it was just the realization that if you are committed, if you choose to be outstanding every day, and because you are committed to your mission, then actually, that voice is about honoring who you really are and about honoring who other people are. And from that place, you don't have to survive, survive. And so many people still survive, their belief system is around life being unsafe, so they live mediocre lives because they stay in comfort zones. And I don't think I live in comfort zones. I think I've taken lots and lots of risks, but I think on a in day-to-day life, I think UPW was amazingly important, because as an entrepreneur, you still are struck by fear sometimes. You still feel like you still can be so focused on the results that you can still feel like, this is not going the way I want or whatever. But actually, when I focus on the things that I can control, when I focus on, on appreciation, and when I focus on mastering myself, and that maybe even the lessons that come my way are to stretch me so that I can attain mastery, and then I can focus on the right things, which are always under my control. And so a lot of people, you probably know this, but in life, so many people are ruled by certainty as a human need, and I was definitely one of them. But once I understood that, certainty operationally was overwhelming my life, and especially when I was stressed and especially when I was fearful, running these old beliefs, I shifted to love and contribution as my new top human needs. And I think what happened is that I really understood when Tony said the only certainty is the state that you create for yourself, and it can happen in a heartbeat. So that was wonderful to understand, that is in my control, my state, and also just such a beautiful reminder to know that we all have inner conflicts, because you have conflicting values. But yeah, I mean, I learned a lot today, and Tony is very funny. Today he outdid himself with humor. I mean, the whole room was like 7,000 people, 6,500 people laughing out loud. And so for me, I really wanna be a good storyteller like him. But what I love about him as well is that he can be humorous, he can be human. Like, he'll say, like, I want to kill that person, I just want to kill that person, which is human. And if you listen to the story, it will make sense why he wanted to kill that person. I mean, it was a business partner that was very unethical and that actually fled the country and almost brought him to to bankruptcy. And and then, like him today, like crying when we went wild, we almost brought down the roof. I mean, that was just so beautiful. But yeah, I hope this inspired you. Thank you for your comments. I think some of you were really beautiful. You wrote me private messages about how you received my video blog and what it reminded you of, and some of you were encouraging to me, some of you were like sharing how you didn't commit, and some of you were like really open and beautiful. And so yeah, I mean, what I can say is that it took me courage and it still takes me courage to be so open and so vulnerable. But I look at Tony and I listen to his stories, and each story is so beautifully crafted, and life had to give him this amazing story for a beautiful reason. So if you are going through some kind of hardship, know that you can rewrite the story, and you can write it in such a way that it has a great ending. And it's all down to the some of the choices that you make around what you focus on, the meaning that you give things, and how you manage your state, how you manage your emotions. So if you are still living in fear, if you are still procrastinating important things, if you're still settling, find help. I mean, sometimes we need help from masters, we need help from other people. And just reading books and fretting about it doesn't help. Life is not to be wasted. Life is amazing when you know how easy it is to shift. And some people feel all this like discomfort when they think about how much they need to shift. But to be honest, when you don't shift, that is when really life is much more of a struggle. So I knew that, so that's why I was surprised when we were doing the processes, that I felt this inner voice saying, bullshit belief, I just don't believe this anymore. It's like no hair on my head, and you can see I have lots of hair, that actually accepted those belief systems. But it takes training. You need to have an observer inside that is like a guard, like an enlightened warrior guarding the sanctuary of your mind, the sanctuary of your focus. So yeah, I had an amazing time today. It was very beautiful. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, last day, and towards committing to some new business projects, new joint ventures that I'll have with new business partners, and rolling out some like important projects for my website, starting my new 10-week program with some an amazing group of clients, and yeah, and maybe we'll continue the video blogs if new things come to mind. But thank you for your patience and your time. Bye bye.